stretched out. No home is a proper home without a copper kettle. Good morning. Well, I believe Nelson Mandela picked up on this, but I'm sure it was said by someone else. Words to the effect that keep your friends close, but keep your enemies even closer. I'm a Christian. I have to try to behave as a Christian ought to behave. So, this is my answer to stuff. Love, it's Romans chapter 12. I'm not going to read the whole thing in. But love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Do not repay anyone evil for evil. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everybody. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Do not take revenge, my friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I will repay. On the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Amen. So that is my guide to the stuff that has gone on here since I arrived in Alnwick at this St. Michael's Square. The place is awash with drugs. But I get it in the neck. It's all my fault. Along the way, I was made homeless for 8 months by this matter. I arrived on Friday the 28th of May, and for the next 31 nights I spent 21 in police custody. Ho, ho, ho! Obviously I must be a bad man. No. Then they made me homeless for 8 months. Fortunately, I've got the life skills to survive. I mean, I think I'm living in Cloud Cuckoo Land, Alice in Wonderland, I don't know. And they're still at it. Completely new human beings have turned up. My front door's been kicked in. I've had my eyes lazed, or potentially tried to be lazed for hours. Rubbish thrown through my front door, glass bottles thrown through my broken glass bottle thrown through my front door. My front window's egged. The place been flower bombed. I just could go on and on. And I had this big 666, which is the devil's number, chalked on my front doorstep last year. There's about as much light in this situation as in the black hole of Calcutta. I went to my front door. This man is yelling obscenities. I've now uncovered a document. The police are saying I've got to be a good little boy and shut up. Brilliant. And if I don't, then they'll arrest me again, and etc., etc. So they've given themselves the powers to arrest me again. But they don't arrest the actual human being who is creating the trouble, who openly smokes cannabis on the square. I haven't mentioned his name, and nor shall I. I've got a complaint out now. I've thought long and hard about this. Prayed about it, if you like. But something has to change. I cannot live here in the long term. I've just renewed my tenancy for another year. I've paid up for the next month. With this ongoing monstrous harassment of myself. It's not just, the word's gone out. Complete strangers, kids turn up. Funny hours in the evening, cycling by, this and that, yelling obscenities. Ho, 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 play with the funny man. So, with Nelson Mandela, I don't have to look far to watch them. They're right there in my face, these people, strutting their stuff. Everything's my fault, obviously. If I get through a day without being harassed, I consider it an achievement at the moment, which is absurd. It's ludicrous. It's monstrous. Even standing at my front door, it kicked off, this fellow. I'm sorry, I'm going to walk from my front door out of the square with my eyes averted. Not talking to anyone, not looking to right or left, and that's it. The alternative would be to leave, obviously. Brilliant. I've been coming here since the 70s. I originally came up from London to Olmouth, where there are Franciscan monks. I love St. Francis of Assisi, and I also always mention the Poor Clares. So St. Francis's dates are 1182 to 1226. He died, in fact, at the age of only 44. But to me, he was the most beautiful Christian spirit who has ever lived since the early saints, as it were, and apostles and so on. There are then St. Aidan, St. Cuthbert, the Venerable Bede, King Oswald, St. Wilfrid, and many others in the first millennium, particularly the ones I mentioned, sort of the year 700 AD. And Christianity then spread. There's the monastery at the Holy Island, Lindisfarne, the Farne Islands, and so on. And that still draws pilgrims from all around the world. So there's something about this area, and it's drawn me too. I've already mentioned I don't like. I wish I were just a seagull. I think that would be best. I could just fly off. I saw one this morning. There was just a slight breeze. They are brutes, in fact. If you're eating your chips, woof, and it's a big bird, the herring gull. There are also quite a few black-headed gulls around, but they're the most beautiful flyers. I, in fact, trained as a pilot through the Royal Air Force, so I used to fly and love flying, I suppose. And they've got their little undercarriage tucked up, and a little paddle so they can plop in the sea, have a little rest, have a little sleep. I don't know, do seagulls dive and catch fish? Certainly some birds do. I'm sure the seagull must too. It's probably its main food, isn't it? Anyway, I don't know. There was Jonathan Livingston seagull, wasn't there? Came out in the 70s, I think. along the way, one of the police officers, a woman police officer who attended, basically said to me, this cannabis, marijuana, weed, whatever they call it, dope, is endemic all over the show. And I think the police just sort of turn a blind eye to it and sort of shuffle their paperwork somewhere else. I don't know. It can't be an easy job. As far as I'm concerned, smoking normal cigarettes and drinking alcohol, either in excess or even at all, actually, sort of, can, is one of the biggest killers anyway. But they're legal. It's the whole illegality of it. You start there, the supply chain, and then you move on up, and then we're into the serious drugs dealers and all the rest of it. I'm not here to police the situation. That is the job of the British police. In this instance, the Northumbrian police, headed up by Chief Constable Winton Keenan. So I've banged off to him as much information as I felt appropriate. I think I've already said I've banged off a complaint now to the IOPC, just because this fellow came across and threatened to firebomb the house and stab me to death. The same one who kicked my front door in, the same one who egged my front windows twice, the same one who threw glass through the front, bottle, broken shards of glass. Oh, please. I really don't see why I have to sit in here in fear and trepidation for my own safety and the police do nothing. In fact, positively, by their actions, they are making matters worse. Amen. Enough of my nonsense. I'm fighting for my own survival. I'm 65. You'd think I'd get a little bit of credit for, having made it to 65. Instead, I'm landed in this absolute pit of vipers, quite frankly. You brood of vipers. There we go. That's John the Baptist. They didn't like Christ much either, did they? The authorities. What a surprise. So I'm good company. They crucified him. Aha, here's my birdie. It's him. Oh, having breakfast. There's light in my home, my Christian broadcasting place. Amen. There's light here. There's nowhere else. Cheerio.